Welcome to this third workshop on process characterization. In this workshop, you will have an opportunity to identify process characteristic based upon a series of changes in the process inputs, both manipulated input as well as disturbance input to the process. Based upon the process response, then you will be asked to identify or characterize the process. For this workshop, a dynamic simulation of a process is provided. There is a disturbance input which can be changed. Also, the process input that is normally used in control can be changed, and the measured output of the process is available through the analog input block. So let's get started in this workshop. The first step in our workshop is to introduce a step change in the process input, so it's being changed from 40 to 50%. In response to that, we notice that the input to the process changes immediately, but the process output also quickly starts to change, as reflected in the measured input. To better see the impact of the process input change, we can look at the chart of the process. As we can see, at the point where we introduce an increase in the process input, the process output begins to change, and it continues to change at the same constant rate over time. Unlike a self-regulating process, which tends to settle out at a new value for a change in the process input, in this case it continues to change. To do our second step of our exercise, we're going to change the process input back to our original value of 40%. When we do this, we notice that the input to the process change, also the output of the process has steadied at a constant value. This is illustrated in the chart. The point at which we return to the initial value, you notice we are at a constant value in terms of the output. So the response is very different than what we would expect on a self-regulating process. To examine the impact of a disturbance, we're going to change the process disturbance from a value of 40 to a new value of 50. In response to that, we notice that the process output starts to change, and as is reflected in our analog input. By going to our chart, we can examine the impact of the disturbance. We notice at the point where the disturbance was injected into the process output begins to change at a constant rate and will continue changing. Based upon the response to the process, both to the process input change and disturbance change, then we would characterize this process as an integrating process. We hope this exercise has been helpful to you in getting experience in terms of process characterization, and we would encourage you to use this exercise to further explore integrating processes.